Oh, this is something I gotta see. What? People are leaving the game. This is by Dantics. Shout out to Dantics. Well, I got 30 minutes on the stream, so.
Dantics here, back with another Wonderlands video. We're seeing average online players drop off faster than Elon's haters from Twitter, and I want
What a way to enter the video. I'll put this on screen. Okay. Nope, we're still good there.
to jump on and chat about why exactly that is, and how the game has failed to capture the greater audience. For PvE games, Gearbox titles are typically quite good.
Bruh, hang on. Alright, Z. Hang on, you said be right back. I asked you what you were role playing as. Good to know you ignored me. But not. Okay. What the heck just happened? I feel something weird in my eye.
Good with player retention. Borderlands 2 still having a strong community to this day, even though it was released 10 years ago. So what about Tiny Tina's Wonderlands has people logging out only a few weeks after release? Is it simply the change of landscape? Here are the interesting reasons why I think Wonderlands has lost players and why...
So this is why he thinks they started. Okay. Not too much of a clickbaity title. I do wonder. I don't think it... I like the D&D take on everything. Funny enough, because I was shortly getting into D&D before it. No, actually long. Well, I think I was getting into D&D when it was announced. No, because it could have been announced a while ago. But before, like, releasing trailers and stuff, I was paying attention to it. I was really getting into D&D, so... That's it, okay. Yeah, let's just continue.
I have taken a break from playing. Let's see if you can guess all the reasons. I'd love to hear your feedback below. First and foremost, let me address the most current problem. Reddit is absolutely blowing up in regards to the latest DLC.
Community needs to be loud and clear. This is not acceptable. This thread is already longer than the DLC. While Coiled Captors includes 5-ish rooms, reused asset, no new enemies, the barest story possible. Each Borderlands 2 Headhunter DLC featured unique areas, sometimes unique enemies, always unique boss, and at least a short voice acted story. Coiled Captors is $10 each. DLC Headhunter DLC is $3. This is obviously a problem. You gotta go eat, Z? Alright, bro, enjoy your food. Shit is was so unfathomable. I almost wanted to applaud Gearbox for the sheer ballsiness in releasing this 10 minutes to finish mediocre reward. The boss fight is absolutely a joke. It's just a reworked existing mob. Shit on BL3 all you want, but both Guardian takes down the Maliwan takedowns and Revenge of the Cartels were free and had new enemies or new mechanics. Oh, I might have to turn this into a video because this is insane. I didn't play that, but funny enough, before I even install, I'm pretty sure he's gonna either sum all that up, all the screenshots. But funny enough, when I played, or well, no, I can't say when I played. I'll say when I got. No, it's not even. That's not even the direction I was going. That's actually completely wrong. When I seen them release Coiled Captors, I thought it was just a season pass add-on, like a battle pass inside a. I don't know how you really do a battle pass inside a game that's like solo player. Anyways, that's what I thought. It was like the start of some, and like everything else, like this could be like an attempt that the stuff they're about to release after or they're working on is going to be even crazier. But it's like it's not like I'm really trying to defend them. I'm just trying to think of other ways because everyone can defend themselves. Nah, defend the weak. Nah, I don't know. To be honest, I'm just really saying random stuff at this point. But when I did see Coiled Captors come out, I really thought it was like some sort of battle pass. Because when I seen the shark that this person said right here, the boss is an absolute joke, just a rework existing mob. I seen that and noticed that and said, what the fuck are they doing? Who actually thought that was a good idea? But if it was my approach, I would be doing that to get ready to hype up a huge DLC that would come out. Because now that you're in this position, you have to win back all the people uninstalling the game. So the next DLC to come out would have to be literally, like, it'd have to top, which seems like the old game now. And yeah, but I didn't even play this. And I really didn't feel like I was going to miss out. Not to mention the meager stuff that they have in this DLC is broken. The frozen sharks next to the pillars are named missing name half the time. When you go through a portal, the sound stutters and mutes until you're in the next area. They literally dumped unfinished garbage on us and called it good enough.
Coiled Captors was released not long ago, and a lot of players didn't even...
So you know what they do? You know what they need to do? Make this. Want to appease the fans? Make this free.
Realize it had. Ironic for a DLC about Nagasarans, the audience really wasn't captivated by beautiful music.
Oh, yeah. That's actually one of the things I have about this game. I'm going to be talking a lot. But first, I want to say, because I'm going to turn this into a YouTube video, shout out to Dantics. And also, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sending out a lot of love. I'm already partway into this. But subscribe if you want to be a part of the founders. But holy shit. I think he just said something about the music. I'm not even paying attention because I was reading those screenshots and then I let it play. But that's it too. The music in this. It's like the same track. It's so weird. It's weird, but the music was actually a big one that kind of stuck out to me. Like, what the fuck? Where's the music?
Realize it had. Ironic for a DLC about Nagasarans, the audience really wasn't captivated by beautiful music. More on this later.
Yeah.
If I wasn't sent the trailer and the media pack early, I wouldn't have known it had released, and I have the Chaotic Great Edition, which has the DLC pass included. There was no prompt suggesting I had new DLC in-game, nor was there a way to find out where it was located.
Oof.
I actually had to Google where to start it. It was near the beginning area in the overworld map, a place I would have zero reason to go to with 5 maxed out level 40 characters. Already, that seems a bit lazy. If the players tested this, they would have caught it, and it would have at least been on the bounty board. Then you jump into the DLC, it opens up with some promise, I'll give them that. A new area, a new theme. Damn, are we getting some kind of spooky carnival-like levels? No. No, you're meeting some boring lady and her dead hub world. Much like a social media influencer, to access the actual content, you have to peer through her mirror. This mirror will pop you into 5 or so battle arenas with a...
That was fucking great delivery. I love that. I don't know why. Just like some influencer, you gotta peer through her mirror.
Boss fight at the end. The battle arena, the enemies, and even the boss are reused content. My level 40 Chaos 20 character blew through it in under 10 minutes. Closer to the 6-minute mark when I looked at the footage, only brought up because I stopped to look at the legendary that dropped and I had to wait for rising water in one of the arenas. Then I got to spin the wheel of fate with the new currency I acquired.
Souls.
I received 3 blue items. It was kind of like being kicked in the balls after having to watch Amber Heard taking a dump in my bed. I ran this...
He's keeping up with the times. The whole Johnny Depp case. That's great.
Mirror a few more times and I haven't touched it since. It would be generous to say I got 30 minutes out of it, and I'm a content creator. I want to get as much footage as I can and squeeze all the secrets out of it, so naturally I see why some people who paid $10 for this are upset. It really isn't acceptable. It seems as though this hub world will be a staging area for other mirrors with more battle arenas coming in the form of other DLC. If this is the case, this is a very ballsy move by Gearbox, as the 4 DLC should really be one complete DLC, or each drop should have been free. 2K has given a lot more in the past for free, let alone paid. It does feel like 2K knows this title has a shorter lifespan, so they're powering these DLC and patches out. Which brings me to my next point, the Band-Aid patches and the increased chaos levels. I recently read an article on Forbes by Paul Tassi on his experiences in Wonderlands. He says, I think my main problem here is twofold. First, expectations for DLC set by past Borderlands games, and second, the timing of this recent chaos cap rise. My main issue is that it took me about a month to finally get one of my classes up to begin to farm Chaos 20 comfortably, and then it immediately shoots up to 35. So I have to do the same process I just did for 15 more levels and replace all my gear with now more quickly dropping volatile variants as I march towards
Primordial
at Chaos 35. Borderlands has always had a problem with DLCs that raise level caps and gear caps, negating all of your past gear, but to do so after a month feels too extreme for me, hence the pushback. So for context, Gearbox has also released a patch alongside the DLC that brought a number of positive fixes. It also brought some nerfs that a lot of people hated and some buffs that didn't really help. Most importantly, it introduced more chaos levels and a new rank of loot. Normally this would be a good thing, and let me stress that the developers caring enough to try to fix their game should be commended. But the timing of this seems a bit rushed. People have only just gotten to the higher chaos ranks, and for people like Paul, they feel the rug's been pulled from under them. I personally like more progression than items, and I'll talk specifically about items soon, but this patch gives me the impression it's released to mitigate player drop-off more than to improve the game. Someone at the top saw the fall, and as a quick fix, upped the level instead of adding actual content. The recent nerf to the overpowered weapon liquid cooling saw a lot of people leave, even though I felt the gun needed it, and now the moving of the goalpost has left people without so much time. And
liquid cooling is absolutely insane. I have like 6 of those things, man, but now to hear they're nerfed, okay.
Their hands feeling like the grind.
It was a bit strong.
Both things feeling like quick fixes instead of actually addressing the root of the problem. Ideally, you want to bring other items up to the same power level so more of them are viable. Normally, I'd say it's difficult to balance a game like this, but it's a PvE game and the actual loot amount is something to be desired, which brings me to my next point and probably the biggest one for me. The sheer number of legendary items is far, far too low. The Borderlands series has long been known for having tons of loot. Even the Borderlands 3 major marketing point was it had millions of weapons. Within a single playthrough of Wonderlands though, I'd seen almost all the legendary items the game has to offer. Let me spell it out for you. As of this recording, there are only 8 legendary SMGs, 5 legendary assault rifles, 11 legendary pistols, 7 legendary snipers and shotguns, 3 legendary rocket launchers, and so on. There are usually less than double digits of legendaries for each category. For a game about customization...
See, I've noticed this. That's actually a big one for me. I've noticed this because it seems like I'm getting the same legendaries. It feels like my bank is full of literally all the legendaries you can get in the game, and then just different variants on them. I guess like you could do the re-rolling on the weapon, but that's a big one for me too. Also, one that he said is this is a game about customization. So another big one for me is also only being able to pick up certain armor that has a cape. It has to be like a certain... I'm just going to say variant again. You guys will know what I'm talking about. But a certain variant of the armor has to be a certain either a certain combination of the classes or just literally the text or something like that. And or the type of armor it is, I guess it has to be the name and it has to match with your class. And all that has to line up basically for you to either get the shoulder cape or the cape that goes all the way back. I don't know if there's only 2 cape-like armors like that in the game, and I said why not make it so you could just change the look of the armor, since customization is also a big one. They kind of wanted you to have like your complete fate maker, like you make you feel like you're really making a D&D card and character.
Grinding to get gear and hearing that ding when the legendary drops, I found myself bored as hell with the items in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. It's in the title, Wonderlands. You should be left in wonder of the crazy, wacky, and interesting weapons you should be getting.
And that sucks because, yes, you should, and it being fucking D&D especially, like, that's insane to me.
It's a fantasy setting, but most of the items seem quite tame. With such a low amount of actual weapons and gear, you'd think that each one would have their uses or let you craft a character build around them. Sadly, no. There are clear better items, and most legendaries simply never get used because they can't be compared in those higher chaos ranks.
Yep.
This results in most builds, regardless of your primary and secondary class combinations,
you're just using the same weapons with different
very
true. very true.
Stats.
Very
Before
true.
It was liquid cooling, and now it seems to be gluttony, which brings me to builds and balance. I was enjoying making build videos, but now every time I try, I have to ask myself, is this fun? Will it run the max chaos level? And is it different enough? Every single time the answer is no to at least one of those. The class system is great. The diversity in combinations was, on paper, quite exciting. But with the low amount of variety in items, it really only leaves a few things viable end game, and that's quite sad to me, especially since power doesn't primarily come from your actual attributes and your skills, but mostly from the enchant multipliers on your items. The balance is off. There is no real diversity in loot and in character builds. I never used some class abilities endgame, and that really shouldn't be the case considering there's only 2 per class. It should be balanced better. Even now, I've tried multiple times to make the Clawbringer viable. I had just finished making a video on a Chaos Rank 20 viable Clawbringer that doesn't take 10 minutes to finish each boss. However, now with the increase, it simply can't keep up with the new maximum, and I've opted to trash the video. Clawbringers are still the worst class in the game, even with the removal of the cooldown of their touchstone. In games, there will always be a better and worse class, but
Wow, I ran through the whole game as Spore Ward and Clawbringer, but then I did end up switching to Spore Ward and Stabomancer.
PvE game, all the classes should be viable to take on the end game. You should be able to pick a build and make it viable. This is not the case. If you want proof,
you should really feel like you're a beast with Clawbringer's hammer or Berserker's throwable hammer axe. You really should be.
For this,
but you
check out
don't.
Some other Wonderlands
Okay.
YouTubers or streamers and see what they use. I guarantee you they'll use a spell shot with some ice spikes or some form of spore warden. I say that as no doubt the footage on screen is now showing the same, but it was my first build. We try to make others work as well, but it takes very specific drops in a Wonderland, fairy tale situation. This all combines with the lack of items, builds, content, and now
Like how he did that too.
difficulty rise to make it feel like a very claustrophobic game. Which leads me to music and UI. While playing through the Wonderlands before release, I was happy with what I had. It was fun and interesting, and I really do think the Borderlands formula lends well to a fantasy setting. Besides the over-the-top signaling in the writing, it was an enjoyable experience. I did have gripes with a few things though, namely the terrible UI and the terrible music score or lack thereof.
Yeah,
Starting with
no
the
music.
UI, I feel as though the grind for loot is hampered by this more than it should be, and more than it is immediately obvious until you really analyze it. It's exceedingly hard to compare items at a glance, and when so many drop, players find themselves ignoring most of them. The recent change to cosmetic drops made it so we weren't picking up even more junk, but a looter shooter needs to be seamless when it comes to loot management. I find myself having to stop having fun to inventory manage more often than I would stop to stare off into the empty void of existence, and they're both about the same amount of entertainment. I'm not sure how people have been making UI mods for decades and developers still aren't taking notice. I understand the need to gate inventory and bank size, but this is a 2022 AAA title, not a mobile game. I shouldn't need to pay with time and energy to increase my inventory size to appropriate levels.
Yeah, damn, he's not wrong there. He's not wrong there. The whole inventory thing is a bit weird in this game. And it does seem like, I'm not gonna lie, from Borderlands 3 to getting the money to like max out your ammo, assault rifle ammo and all of that, it felt a little bit long to me. Like the price immediately drops to like 6 billion for like a inventory upgrade or something like that, or like ammo pistol. It's crazy. That was actually super weird to me.
Realistically, we should be allowed to pick up everything and take a look after the action is over.
Yeah, true.
Where it may force.
And I notice I'd be grabbing stuff on the run when I'm playing like the Borderlands games. Like I'm on the run picking stuff up sometimes. I'll like glance at it and be like, oh, I'll read this later, pick it up and hop right back into fighting.
To sell down to a particular amount. There has to be a better way to display stats as well. At a glance, you don't really see enough of what's important. In 2022, the guns still don't show DPS. Rather, they show damage amounts. We need to see what their DPS is based on fire rate, reload time, and damage.
That is a fact. And not only that, something I did notice about the UI is when you select a certain, so if you go to your class character, I could probably show this in game. Actually, that'd be a little bit of work and I'm lazy. But just because of the launch in the game, just to go in there, then just close the game and the amount of time I'm streaming too. So in the UI, you have your character side of your stuff where you have the 4 guns you equipped, the relic, the rings, and whatever, you know, your normal stuff in Wonderlands. Once you click on one of those slots, it shows you, it pulls up basically all the rings in your inventory. Say like you do, I don't know, right-handed ring. When you click on it, all the rings pop up. When you go over, there's an option to mark things as trash and sell it. But what's weird is you cannot use this feature if you click a ring and solo it out. Now, I don't know if this has been changed. I don't know. I have to go into the game and see if it's like been patched or it's a little quality of life change that fixed it. But it's the weirdest thing ever. Like you select, say you want to change out an assault rifle, or say, yeah, something along the line. So you select assault rifle, and I think it'll pull up all the guns because it's just like gun class, but it'll pull up all the guns, and you can't go through them and select them to sell for trash. You have to go out of the UI into the normal list to set and scroll all the way down to mark everything as trash. I was just like, that was a bit weird to me. Kind of nitpicking, but it was, I think it's probably something that somebody has noticed.
We need to see how much our stats change. Not just a number like a 20% increase fire damage, which is not actually a 20% increase, but a 20% of your current amount, which we can't see. So yeah, you get my point. They really need to take a page out of the many years of Diablo optimizations, because this currently feels like a Diablo 1 level of looting. Without realizing it, Gearbox has made what should be fun a chore, and alongside the other problems, it's scaring people away. Then comes the music. This is more of a personal gripe, but where is the music? I thought at least a DLC about sirens would change it up. I urge you to go and fight the final boss. Then after, I want you to hum the music that played.
Rise and destroy this hero.
You can't. Not just because you have no talent, but because there's no real music track. This should be an epic moment. My favorite levels in the game is a Jack and the Beanstalk inspired area, and if you sit and listen to the music...
To be honest, it's D&D inspired, bro. And it's Wonderlands, so the theme should be kicking and making you feel like in this fantastical world. So it is sad. I guess just the sheer amount of it just being a new game to play, and that it was cross-play with me and my... but we noticed a lot. Our awareness it's too high to not catch things like this. But for some reason, it just didn't bother us. We just played it.
Music.
But definitely, I did acknowledge, I think I did this a little bit way better.
It's like someone...
Or not a little bit, way better. Way better.
Occasionally strangling a bird and then silence.
Yes.
That's it. Where's the creativity? What happened, Gearbox? I don't want to be a dick, but I feel I need to be here.
And not gonna lie, that little tiny thing at the time is actually okay.
Some tough love. Whoever was responsible for the music dropped the ball and really needs to assess how they compose moving forward. This might not be a case of talent, but a case of trying new things and learning from the industry. You have incredibly talented sound designers at Gearbox, making some truly ASMR-worthy sounds. I would be surprised if the composer even talked to these veterans. Maybe this working from home situation really cost them some crucial, critical internal feedback, and I really don't blame them. I just expect better from their future titles. For the first time in decades, I found myself having to put music on as I grind the game. I never...
Oh, I noticed this too. What the fuck?
...felt compelled to do this before. Right now, there really isn't a lot of competition. We are between major game releases and a post-holiday dry spell. Wonderlands has, on paper, the right stuff to keep people engaged for months. Sadly, the factors mentioned are making people leave. The DLC didn't bring people back and enforced a lot to uninstall. I've reached a point where I'm honestly quite bored of the game, and I'm hoping something changes to fix that because I really want to enjoy it. I think the DLC are locked in, and any significant changes might be too little too late. All this critical feedback comes from a place of love. I hope that Gearbox takes what they've learned here and applies it to their next IP. I wish them nothing but success because I truly love them, but this needs to be a firm kick in the bum. So what do you think? Are you still enjoying Wonderlands? Let me know below. Just because others aren't enjoying it doesn't mean you can't. Tell me what you love. I'd love to hear some positivity as well. Thanks for watching, and for everything RPG, you're in the right place. Ciao, friends.
Damn. Well, thank you guys for watching that. Much love, Moonlight love. I'm going back to my stream, but this is where the video ends. Peace. That's insane. Wow. Poor Wonderlands. Yeah, poor Wonderlands.